Okay, welcome to this segment of Meet and Greet. I'm here with Pastor Allen Decena from Ontario. Allen, it's good. It's so good to have you here with us. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on.
Alan, I met Alan when I was at Andrews doing the MDiv. I think it was around 2007,
hmm
2008, correct?
hmm
Is that the
That is
time?
correct. That is correct.
Alan, tell us a little bit for our audience at Red Deer and the bigger audience around the world. So we have people from India, from the Philippines, always
Cool.
watching. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where were you born and your family?
Okay. Wow. Back to the beginning, just like we're doing this for our lesson. So I was born in the Philippines for all of 3 weeks. I was there, and then my parents immigrated to Canada. Um, we lived in Toronto, Ottawa, just basically those two places. We did grow up in a in an Adventist community, Adventist. Yeah, we had an Adventist church, Adventist upbringing. Um, I graduated from an Adventist high school. I didn't go to an Adventist university, but later on, as you mentioned, we went to Andrews. So I am by a lot of accounts a byproduct of Adventist education, and so that's that part of it. Unfortunately, I mean not unfortunately, but before that, I actually had my undergraduate in nursing. So I was doing nursing for a bit. It didn't really set well with the way that my brain perceived how to work through information, and I felt myself, just always being called towards, being this pull towards ministry, and so I kept fighting, and then just one day God got a hold of me, and I found myself in a classroom in Berrien Springs with this guy. So
Awesome, man. At that time, you had how many kids over there? I know you had your
I only had one at the time.
Alan.
Yeah, Allen Jr. Right. I only had one at the time, and then we actually thought we weren't going to have any more after that, and so we had given up, having other kids because my wife wanted other kids. And then as soon as we thought we were going to give up, boom, God gives us two more back to back. Right. So,
Yeah,
um,
maybe some of the people from the church knows your son because Alan goes to school here in Berman, correct?
that is correct. That's correct.
What
He
what what is
goes to
Alan
Bremen.
studying? What is Alan
He's
studying?
studying. He's studying psychology with this notion, or I don't think it's an emphasis because it is such a new sort of field, but cyber psychology, right? And so he's in his third year of that, going to finish next year, and hopefully he's thinking about taking his master's, or thinking his master's. Unfortunately, it's overseas in Britain, so my wife doesn't like particularly that much. So
Okay,
yeah, but
okay,
we're excited
okay.
for him.
Now you have Chloe. I met Chloe the other day through
Yes.
phone, and who else?
So first is Alan Jr., the second is Matthias Tatum, and the third is Chloe Anastasia. So
Ah, nice, nice, nice. And your wife's name again?
my wife's name is Jeline, right?
Jolene.
And she used to work for the conference, but
Yeah.
we've had to take up some back seats to that, and look at our family, and take care of our
Okay.
family as well as that. So
Okay.
we're still entrenched with the Adventist community,
Yeah, man.
even amongst this COVID craziness. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Was your wife also born in the Philippines or?
She was born in the Philippines,
Mm.
and her at some point her dad emigrated to the Middle East because he's a banker, and so she spent time um, in the Middle East. But the funny thing is, while everybody was leaving for the Gulf War, they were getting out. She was coming in,
Wow,
so she's
wow.
got stories of like city alarms going off in the middle of the night. They have to like get into their bathrooms in the tub and throw on these blankets just in case there's a chemical attack. that kind of craziness and sort of being under a little bit of persecution because some of the government would come knocking at their doors, the Christians' doors, making sure that they're not doing, religious things. And every week it was somebody's birthday.
Wow,
Right?
wow.
That's how
That's
they
why
would
they
sort
were
of,
meeting. Yeah, that's why
yeah,
they
they
were
were
meeting. Yeah.
meeting. Yeah,
Well, Sabbath is a celebration, so right?
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
That's wonderful. Hey, listen, so Alan, this week, and we don't want to tell the audience a lot because we want them to be there on Sabbath, but this week we're studying Genesis, the first part of Genesis 1 and 2 as the backbone for understanding the scriptures, right?
Right.
And that I was asking you, what was the class that you took at the MDiv that reminded you of that?
Well, there is. I mean, I only remember what it says on like our schedule. So there's an original title. I just know it as Origins,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
And so that was with Dr. Yonker and Dr. Baldwin. So there was two of them that were teaching the class, and we had gone through sort of the creation account, some of the issues that surround the literature that's out there. Of course, you have in the secular world things like dinosaurs and eons, of how long our Earth has been there, and it's still there, right? It's still a major talking point in our schools and in our universities and in our on our media, and so that class was there, and it opened my eyes to some of the things that we had talked about, or and gone through, struggling with as a Christian coming up, with some of the questions that we've got, because it's apparent, at some point when you're growing, as if you grow into a Christian home, eventually you start to wonder, well, is this part true? Is that part true? And one of the first things that comes up is creation, because there's so much
Mm.
information on it, right? So that's going to be an important topic that we're going to discuss, and I'm really excited to delve into that with you.
Awesome, awesome. Alan, I want to thank you for giving me this time, for the meet and greet so the church can get to know you. And I'm looking forward for the blessing that we're going to have Saturday morning. Okay, so folks, it's Saturday at 10 a.m. It's through the Red Deer Seventh-day Adventist Church website. And it's going to be noon in Ontario when Alan is going to join us, all right? So thank you again, buddy. I really appreciate it and
No
looking forward
problem,
for
man.
Saturday morning. God bless.
Absolutely. God bless. Take it easy.
All right, bro.